women say, hey, look, I don't want to be married to you anymore, it's because they don't feel their emotional needs are being met. She's been dropping hints for years and he hasn't picked up on any of them. Women will plan an exit of a marriage for over 2 years. If you're hearing this from her, she's been planning this exit for 2 years and trying to tell you, waiting for you to wake up. And now this is her final straw. Your wife says something like, I don't want to be married to you anymore. You can walk away or come back or whatever, but eventually go, you know what? I was thinking about what you said about not wanting to be married. And obviously there was a time when our marriage did look promising. What's changed for you? By creating a safe space, you give yourself at least an opportunity or a chance to get her back. Is your wife pulling away, or maybe even she's told you she doesn't want to be married to you anymore? Well, that's gut-wrenching, and I'm here to tell you what you can do to get yourself back on track and navigate these tough times. The first thing you can do, and it sounds counterintuitive, is try to understand where she's coming from. Now, why do I say that? Because a lot of times when women say, hey, look, I don't want to be married to you anymore, it's because they don't feel their emotional needs are being met, right? Their needs aren't being met anymore, and that's why they no longer want to be married, or at least married to you. And that's because she no longer believes that you can meet her emotional needs. All too often, when I've talked to my wife who coaches women, she'll tell me, yeah, she's been dropping hints for years and he hasn't picked up on any of them. And I hear this from men as well. And when your wife tells you she doesn't want to be married to you anymore, it's like a stab in the heart, right? You just don't know what to do. But the key is finding out the reasons why. What needs of hers aren't getting met? Now, we've talked about this all the time. A woman needs to feel safe, right? Emotionally first. But once the basic container, and I call it a basic container because that's going to be our foundation for everything in our marriage. You want your wife to feel safe, right? We all do, right? But most women don't. So the emotional safety is met. Now she needs to be seen, heard, and desired. Those three things: seen, heard, and desired. And what most men do is they go into deer mode when their wife comes to them. They defend themselves. They make excuses. They over-explain, and they react. I was king of the reaction one. That was me, right? The react. What? What do you mean? If I felt offended or something, like my integrity was questioned or my manhood, I would go right in, because that's what I would do with men, right? I would alpha up, if you will. And so I would go into deer mode and I look back at it and I laugh at myself, but I didn't know any better. That's just the way I communicated with guys. And so I assumed if I communicated with men that way or in business or whatever else it was, defending myself because I was standing up for my honor, standing up for what I believed was right, that would work in my marriage. And it didn't. It just didn't. And so we want to make sure that we're actually killing the deer and embracing the wolf, wise, open, loving, and fierce. So the open and loving of the wolf, these two things especially, are going to help you in this situation. Because if you're asking your wife why she doesn't want to be married to you anymore, if she doesn't feel safe, you're not going to get the real answer. You're going to get some surface level answer that she feels safe telling you. Or she's going to be mean about it because she's going to attack you because she's so hurt. And either of those things aren't going to get you want. So you need to provide that foundation of safety, a safe container for her. And it can look something like this. So your wife says something like, I don't want to be married to you anymore. You can walk away or come back or whatever, but eventually go, you know what? I was thinking about what you said about not wanting to be married. And obviously there was a time when our marriage did look promising. What's changed for you? I'd really love to know. And see how I said that in a very calm tone, a very grounded tone, a very, not emotional, if you will, but grounded, secure. And so you want to provide that for her so she knows, or feels at least, that she's safe. Now, the key thing I said there was feels. She needs to feel that you're safe. That's one of the things we really teach the men at the Alpha Reset, is how to get in there so a woman can feel you even before you speak. It's a skill that once I learned it, it's just been a game changer for me. Completely changed my life. But she needs to understand that. And then you get to understand, like a journalist, right? You want to be an inquisitive journalist, not somebody who's doing an interrogation. There's two different energies, right? So if I'm interrogating her, well, why not? I take out the trash all the time. What else could I be doing better? That's needy energy. That's an interrogator. I'm interrogating her, and I'm also antagonizing her. You don't want that, because she's going to put up her defenses and she's going to push back. However, if I act like a journalist, like, hey, tell me more. Okay. So you don't think your needs are getting met. Okay. You think I'm working too late. Okay. And so you want to ask more questions. What would not working too late look like? Or what is an appropriate amount of time of work? And if I did come home, what would that have looked like for you? What would we have done? Let's talk about that. And so what happens a lot of times when you get into this inquisitive nature and she feels safe, she's going to start sharing more, which allows her to be seen and heard, by the way. And you can also utilize the hidden motives technique, which we talk about a lot here, into this. And that's really one of the pivotal moments when she's also going to open up and she's going to give you the playbook, essentially, of what great marriage looks like to her. And that's key to move forward. You need to know the reasons why, not the surface level reasons. You see, guys, if there hasn't been something acute that's gone on, in other words, you've beaten her or an acute affair, it's a gross violation of trust, then chances are these are micro traumas or micro things that have happened. And I'm going to bet that she's been trying to tell you about this for a very long time. Usually women will plan an exit of a marriage for over 2 years, right? That tells me that most likely if you're hearing this from her and there hasn't been an acute causation, if you will, then she's been planning this exit for 2 years and trying to tell you, waiting for you to wake up. And now this is her final straw, right? This is her final, I'm out of here. Now, I can also tell you I've seen a lot of men turn this around, and that's the exciting news. A lot of men can turn this around, right? And they can get back on track, but you need to know the reasons why first. Now, the next thing you get to do, and this is going to sound counterintuitive to a lot of you, but men that have been through a program, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here, is you need to double down on your self-care, right? You need to double down on your self-care. And that starts with doing your alpha rise and shine, as well as your alpha decompression. Now, we talk a lot about these in other podcasts. You can search. We've done over 800 podcasts. So a lot of these topics I've talked about multiple times. I also get that no one's going back and listening to 800 podcasts, but it's all right there for you guys. But by doubling down your morning routines, one is it's going to help you, but two, it's also going to show her that you're getting a foundation. You're taking care of yourself. You see, guys, if you can't take care of yourself in whatever way that looks like for you, that's really emotionally what I'm talking about here. But taking care of yourself, then how are you going to take care of her? Right? I'm not talking monetarily. I'm not talking even about health, but I'm talking about just your general well-being as a human. If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of her? She can't trust you. She just can't. So it starts with getting your routines in, doubling down on your self-care. And when you double down on your self-care, your love will come through. It'll be easier for you to hold space for her, easier for you to hold space where she feels safe. It also will be interesting, typically, is you become more curious. You become more of an interesting human when you start taking care of yourself because you're doing things that you actually want to do. This could be hobbies. This could be going to the gym. This could be, golfing, whatever it is that you really enjoy filling your cup that makes you a happier human. You want to double down on these routines because the truth is she may leave. And if she leaves and you don't double down on your own routines, then what are you going to do afterwards? Right? You need to prepare for the possibility that she's made up her mind, that she is exiting the marriage. Now, of course, you want to do everything possible that you can do just to clear your conscience, especially to try to pull things back if that's what you want to do. And I'm assuming it is. Now, if you want to do that, then you double down on your routines. You take some courses, whether it be the activation method or something else with another program, that's up to you. Do one that feels good for you. If the activation method doesn't ring true to you, then don't do it, please. You want to do something that works for you, right? That really, really works. We have a statistic that over 90% of the men that go through the program actually came and got what they came for, right? That's a huge stat. Not many companies can say that, right? But we're a movement of men. So we're always fine-tuning things. But it may not be for you. And if it's not, go somewhere else. Do something else. But do something. I implore you to do something. And that's doubling down on your education so you can continue to grow. So you're creating a safe space for her to communicate to you, right? Even after she says she doesn't want to be married, you've created this safe space. Now she can start telling you the reasons why. Because guess what, guys? If she does leave, you're going to repeat the same mistakes with the next marriage and the next one and the next one. I talk to guys, sometimes they're on their 5th marriage and they're still repeating the same problems. Different woman, but same problems. And you go, wonder what the common thread is here, right? And I don't make light of that to make fun of them, but that's just the truth of it. It's the same pattern over and over again. And it's them. Until you change you can't change the pattern. But by creating a safe space, you give yourself at least an opportunity or a chance to get her back, right? And again, I've seen guys literally have been served divorce papers, bring back the marriage on this exact topic by following the methodologies that we talk about here. Now, so once you've created that safe space, right? Now you're going to double down on your routines, taking care of you, which again sounds counterintuitive, but she's going to see you filling yourself up, seeing you fill yourself up with love. And now you get to create another space for her to be seen and heard, right? Seen and heard about you, desired, but also give her some space. Let her know that you want this, right? I always believe in calling the elephant out in the room. Some guys will say, okay, well, I don't want to seem needy, Doug, so I'm not going to tell my wife that I want to stay together. I'm going to act cool and calm. That's stupid, right? It's just completely stupid. What you want to do is be you. So if you want to stay together, I'd be honest to go, hey, look, babe, I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate you sharing this with me, and I'm going to give you the space that you need, but I want you to know that I want to work on our marriage and I want to be together. And I would say that just like I said in that tonality, very firm and definite, but I'm also going to give her space. I'm not going to chase her. I'm just letting her know that that's what I want and I'm going to stand for it and I'll fight for it if I need to, right? Now, I'm also pragmatic. So I also want you to prepare for the possibility of divorce. And that does mean talking to a divorce lawyer. It does mean looking at your finances. It does look at child separation or joint custody and all these things. Be smart about it. I'm a romantic. I hope it doesn't work. It comes back for you that you're able to save this and come back. And, statistically speaking, men in our program are able to turn it back, but that may not be you, right? And you may not go through the program. You may do something else. Either way, my advice to you, based on all the men I've worked with, is to get your house in order, right? You're filling your cup, you're providing the space, you're just getting your house in order, not from a place of scarcity. I'm not saying hide money overseas or buy a bunch of gold bullion and bury it in your backyard so no one can find it. You got to do what you got to do, but I'm saying it from a place of just knowing what is, right? Understanding what custody could look like, understanding if you divorce, understanding the fact that in most states in the United States and also in the UK, you're going to lose over 50% of your income, of your assets, all the stuff that you've worked for, right? It always blows my mind when I hear from a guy that says, hey, look, I don't want to spend money on the program that you guys offer. I don't want to spend that kind of money. And I think about it, I'm like, man, statistically speaking, most of our guys save their marriages and their lives, right? And how much money are you going to spend when you have to sell your house and move out? What's the moving costs going to be alone? Let alone, going to visit your kids somewhere else, let alone child support, alimony, all of these things. It's just mind-boggling that men can get in this frame of reference or frame of mind. And then the money's the smallest thing. It's the time commitment. It's actually doing the work that we teach. Because what we teach is a methodology. It's a proven methodology that you can go through. It's designed for businessmen, because understanding that businessmen, right, we don't turn off at 5 o'clock. We don't clock out. At 5 o'clock, we still got the idea of payroll, marketing, lead generation, operations, fulfillment, legal. All of these things are still going through our heads, and we take those into our marriage. And that's why the activation method was designed specifically for businessmen and C-suite executives at bigger companies. Because guys, we don't turn off at 5 o'clock, right? Other gentlemen, we do have a program because we want to make sure we help as many people. We are a movement here trying to help men. But for the rest of you, right, that's what we're doing. And we want you to get back there. When she says that, you got to double down, and it's your time. This is her final straw. She's probably been telling you for years. And now she's finally actually saying, look, it's done. I'm out. But again, I'm telling you, I see men pull it back so many times, guys. It's amazing. And the last and final thing that you guys want to do here is build a support network, right? Have a group of people around you who can support you through this. You do not want to go to your wife with your grievances. You do not want to go to your wife with your problems. I'm scared, I'm hurt, whatever it is. It's okay to be vulnerable from a strong place, but take these grievances, take this stress, take these other things to a support network. Now, I recommend a support network of like-minded men. So in this case, businessmen. Right? That's a great place to be, because they're going to understand the fact that as you're going through this, you're also trying to build a business, or at least maintain a business that you've spent so much time building. They're going to understand what it's like to manage employees while going through this crisis. They're going to understand what it's like to have your kids, your wife wants to leave. What are you going to do? And then you're trying to business, you got vendors. It's just a different type of stress. So make sure you surround yourself with like-minded men. If you even do anything, that's a huge thing. I've seen it pull back for so many guys, because you need an outlet. There's no lone wolfing, guys. don't hold this stress. You've done that for most of your lives where you've held it all in. You don't share it with anybody. This is not the time. And I'm not talking talk therapy. I'm talking real men and sharing like, hey, this is what's going on. And there's going to be a guy that's further down the road that can guide you down that path, that can make it easier for you. Not only easier, but make your odds of success even greater, right? That's the key, right? I wouldn't go into a business. If I had the opportunity of, I don't know, of buying a business as an example, if you said, Doug, you could start the business from scratch or buy a proven recipe, a proven model of the business, and it's going to cost you the same, I'll take the proven model every time. It's repeatable. It's proven. It's got historical evidence. Someone's been down that path, has dealt with the problems and dealt with them successfully and figured it out. Yes, I'll go down that path and compound my time and get better results. Do this with your marriage too. And if it's not with TPM, find somebody else who's been there, done that, who can relate to you, who understands the struggles that you're going through. So when you are having these conversations with your wife, you can bounce ideas. Well, she said this. Well, she probably means that. And actually get a translation, if you will, and know what to do next. Because that's really the key, guys. You are a business leader. You are a leader in your community. You're a leader in your family. And right now you have a key employee, this is your wife, right? Or partner, if you will, is telling you that they're at the breaking point. So now it's time to pull out all the stops, do whatever it takes to right this ship. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your wife. And as I always say, guys, in the moment of insight, take massive action. If it's something you're interested in, just go click the link in the description, get on a call with one of our advisors. And if not, go to Google or something and look up another program that may be a better fit for you. But please do something. Take some action. I'll see you next time on the TPM Show.